Hi, so there are a few tools I want to go over for both Google Documents and Word documents. So the first tool that I want us to talk about is how to put things in ABC order. So in a Google document, that gets a little bit more complicated because you have to add a tool on so that you can do that. So if you go up here to add-ons, you're going to see that I have one called sorted paragraphs, but you have to add that onto your Google Documents. So you're going to go to get add-ons and you're type sorted paragraph and click enter. And then it's going to pop up with this at the top, sorted paragraphs. You're going to see that. So you're going to make sure that you click to add it. So you don't see that now for mine because I've already got it on there, but you're going to see a button that looks like this one where it's like a plus sign and free. So you'll do that for sorted paragraphs. So make sure that you add that on. And once you add it, you can put things into the alphabetical order. So in order to put it in alphabetical order, you're going to highlight it, and then you're going to go to add-ons, sorted paragraphs, and sort it A to Z. And then notice it puts it into that alphabetical order. So that's how to do that with the ABC. When I'm looking at it in a Word document, it gets a little bit easier to do. So I'm going to, once again, highlight it. And then you're going to see like a little A to Z drop down thing right here. So I want to make sure I click and see that it's ascending, click OK, and then it puts it into order. So it's a little bit easier to do it in a Word document versus the other document, but you can see how it's done here. Okay, so going back to my Word doc or my Google document, our next thing is to make sure we have our indent correct. So usually with your works cited, you're going to have a hanging indent. So that means that your second part of the works cited thing should be indented a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to highlight all of my stuff. I'm going to look at the little triangle up here and drag it to where it says 1/2 inch. And then the little line up top, I'm going to drag it back to 0. So if you notice, like for the Tolkien one right here, for the Lord of the Rings, you have your date that's indented. So the other ones are not long enough. So Jane Austen's and J.K. Rowling's, those are not long enough to have a hanging indent. But if you have something that's on the second line, it should be indented like you see with the Tolkien example right here. So that is how you do a hanging indent in a Google document. If I go back to a Word document, it's a little bit different, and I think it's a little bit more easy to do. So I'm going to highlight my stuff, and then where you see paragraph up here, you're going to click this little arrow, and then where you see indentation, you're going to look at special and click hanging. And then it automatically does it for you. So that makes it a little bit more easy so you don't have as many steps. So once again, though, you're highlighting your text, clicking this little kind of small arrow thing, and then making sure that your special indentation says hanging. Okay, so last thing I want to show you, if I go back to our Google document, is just an example of why we want to use double spaced instead of using enter to space it. So if I look at these two examples, the one between enter and double space, they look pretty much the same, but there's a big difference. So if I go and edit the double space example, if I want to add the word they were extremely proud to say, notice that nothing changes with my formatting, it still looks good. But if I go to enter and I do the same thing and type in extremely proud to say, we see some funky things happening here now. So this doesn't work so well when you use enter. So if you, instead of doing double space, say you're just going to do enter after each line to try and achieve the same thing, it's not going to work. So it's going to cause some problems formatting wise if you have to go and correct something. So please make sure that you use double space like we talked about before in those other videos that we've completed on MLA formatting. So those are the things I have for you for today. We'll talk some more about this stuff if you have questions about things, but these kind of give you some tools on what to use for the toolbar in Google Documents and Word document.